Good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are in the world. I'm Kalari Cuddles, and today we are going to be swatching Liquitex Acrylic Ink. So these are inks, they're highly pigmented. A lot of people use them as paint, some people will just use them as straight up ink. I generally use them, I pair them up with watercolor pencils. On this sheet of paper, we will individually swatch them, not swap them. I swear I can speak English. The only one we will not do a swatch for will be the white one because it's white paper. But underneath that, we are going to color with this red colored pencil, which are red watercolor pencil. And then for the green one, I will be using this watercolor crayon because I don't think red and green are going to make a pleasant color to look at. So let's get down into swatching this real quick. So the top part, which let us separate the line. Oh God, my pen's dying. Up here is where we will do the individual swatches, and then down here is where we will use them how I use them. I replace my water with these right here. So yeah. So first we're going to start off with this yellow. If you do sit it around for a while, the pigment will go to the bottom, but a good shake will fix that right up. This is your standard cadmium yellow of hue. I would say it's very close to a canary color. I know my camera is not giving this justice at all. So with that said, I do highly recommend that you go to my Patreon because I do take high-res pictures and you can see the true pigment that my camera does not allow. So we are going to do a drop there. I say a nice helping there. Make sure you screw it back on. I have a habit of not screwing them back on correctly, so when I do open them again, I get it all over me. We're just going to be using a standard brush, nothing fancy, and I'm going to swatch down. I love using these. It's very, well, first off, it's a wet. It's completely fluid. This is not the proper paper, so I'm already going to go ahead and tell you that there will be some bleeding, and it will more than likely go through. Oh, it didn't go through, but it did bleed a little bit, but that is also because this is not the right paper. It's a very nice swatch. For not being on the right paper, it did bleed a little bit. It did ruin the paper a little bit, but once again, I already said that it's the wrong paper. But it's got a nice pigment. I do really, really like it. And this brush is not 1000% clean. I'm going to stay going light to dark. I might find another brush. This one is a iridescent bright gold. It's more than likely not going to be saturated. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be sheer, but I guess we will find out. There's our nice little helping of gold. We want to be dripping with gold. Yeah, it is very sheer. This would be a good topper for like that. Like if you do a yellow or a orange or well, anything that you want to make look metally. Yeah, this is very, very sheer, and it's still working around. It's not very, I don't want to say it doesn't stick to the paper. I might have put too much, but yeah, it is quite sheer. You can obviously still see the paper underneath. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it does say that it's iridescent, so it's not like I'm shocked that it's see-through. And I have lost my napkin. Meaning I'm going to take another brush for this green swatch. I'm literally using like, I don't want to say trash can brushes, but they're like brushes that I haven't given love to in a while. And then now we're going to use a green. There's another word before it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Phthalocyanine Green? Yeah. Don't know how to pronounce it. I'm really hoping that this is a nice deep emerald green. It looks that way. It looks like a nice emerald forest green. I'm hoping that it's not, it should be sheer. So here we are, we're going to swatch this. Ooh, Ooh, oh my god, that is beautiful. Holy moly. That is true green right there. That is very, very beautiful. I'm highly impressed. So yeah. We're not gonna do the white. I guess I need a brush for white. White we'll do down here when we mix with this. So yeah. Now we're gonna do our, how I use these. So let us do a swatch like that. This color pencil that I am using is a Dasani Aquarel red watercolor pencil. It is from Holland. I'm going to use that for the yellow. I am going to use that for the gold. And I am going to use that for the white. I'm really trying to get like liberal on how hard I push on this because I really do want to make sure that it goes through. And then for the green, because red and green is not going to make a pleasant color, I'm going to be using a Faber-Castell blue watercolor crayon. So we'll do like that. Alright, so let's go and do our little droppies. First we're going to put our titanium white down. We're going to take the, ooh, that has a smell. We're going to take our other brush and we're going to mix that up, which this is exactly how I use the products. So now this gives me a feel for what the white is. The white is very milky. So if I'm going to try and get a nice white out of this, like a true white, there would have to be some movement of pigment because that is quite milky right there. When it made its pink. So instead of making like pink, it made whatever you want to call that. Almost Pepto, generic brand Pepto-Bismol. Now we're going to drop the yellow on it. I'm also going to use the one that I just used for white. Oh yeah, that blends beautifully. We just made us a nice orange. But yeah, this is one way for me to turn my watercolors into a more acrylic feel because of these been acrylic inks. And I really do like that. I might use this to like bold an area or make it an area pop more and then thin it out. And then lastly, the last red swatch will be the gold, which I am curious how this will be, but since this is an iridescent, probably just going to be shiny orange. No, it stayed red. It just made it shiny. Yeah, I think that this iridescent gold, it doesn't keep it from not being patchy, as this one is solid and that so is this. This one is still very, very patchy, and I think it's because of it being an iridescent ink and not a pigmented ink. So this would be a great topper and not one for me mixing with. So now let's lastly test this green out on this blue. I did not screw that on there correctly. Oh! Alright, so now let us try this blue and this green together. It does mix. It is a little patchy. Blues cannot always be the most pigmented thing in the world. Blues and purples are generally very hard to do. But it does make a beautiful color. I really do like the mix of the colors together. So yeah, I would say that these are all successful. The only one that would not be successful for how I use these inks would be the gold. But other than that, it is a nice color. If you're interested in seeing the true pigment of this, because my camera does not give justice to this, head to my Patreon. I will have high-def pictures of all this. I will take pictures and then have a blog post further explaining this and my techniques. If you're interested in those, then head to my Patreon and support my art. Thanks for watching, stay cuddly, and I'll see you guys in the next adventure.